Yo, all right, Raider Nation. It is June 1st. Who walks the plank? Who survives? Let me know your candidates for who is on the list, to get cut post June 1st. Let me know who you would like to see the Raiders bring in. Who do you think is going to get cut? We'll break it all down, get into it. Also, also, surprise cut candidates. I'll get into that here in a bit. Choose what's good, what's good. Killer, my guy, what's good? Appreciate you popping in. So yeah, like I said, let me know, you know, who would you like to see the Raiders bring in post June 1st? We'll break down some of the candidates, some of the guys that are being talked about, some guys that I would like to see, brought in if they have the opportunity, if the price is right. So it's not a contest, but if the price is right. Appreciate y'all dropping in. So, first off on the list, right? I know y'all seen the thumbnail, but Javon Clowney, there is rumors that he could possibly be one of those dead cap cut candidates. How do y'all feel about that? Would you possibly bring him in? We'll have to look it up and see what the price is, what his salary is. We'll pull up over the cap here in a bit. But let me know. Is that somebody y'all would bring in? We don't have a whole lot of depth at the defensive end position. We do have Malcolm Coons coming off an injury. We do have Max Crosby coming off an injury. Both guys missed significant time last year. Malcolm Coons missed the entire season. Max Crosby missed a lot of the season. Christian Wilkins missed a lot of the season. That's D line. But as far as the depth goes, we have Charles Snowden and Tyree Wilson. And then we have UDFAs, who I believe is going to make the team. John Joyner and Jafari Harvey. I think both of those guys somehow, if they don't make the 53, they get put on the practice squad or signed to a future contract. You know, somehow, some way they make this team. Alex, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you dropping in. Joanna, appreciate you. So yeah, let me know where you stand on Clooney. You know, I think it would be a huge, huge pickup for the Raiders if they can get him at a decent price. If he does get cut, like I said, we'll have to pull up the salary. But either way, man, I mean, we don't know what Snowden is. We know he has upside. He showed flashes last year, but for the snaps that he was on the field, it wasn't enough flashes for me, right? It wasn't enough upside to say, all right, if Max Crosby gets hurt, I'm comfortable with Charles Snowden coming in behind him and being the guy the rest of the year. That doesn't work well for me. That doesn't sit well for me at all. So if you have a guy, like Clowney, you can bring in, kind of makes a little bit of a um, insurance policy, if you would. The guy doesn't have to play 90% of the snaps. He doesn't have to play 80% of the snaps. But whatever he does play on the field, he's going to contribute to this team. And I think it would just be a huge asset. Now, again, I know where our cap money is. We'll get into that in a bit. You got to save some for injuries, like we just talked about. Guys getting injured. What happens? Last year, we had to bring in guys like Jonah Lalu, guys like Caleb Von Chasen, guys like Andre Carter II. We brought in a lot of guys on a lot of cheap deals last year. Thank goodness there was guys available that came in and contributed, what they did on their cheap deals. We didn't have to spend a bunch of money. But if we're a team that's winning and something happens, God forbid, right? Shout out to all the people in the building. If something does happen, you want to have that money on your books to not go get a guy that's been cut a bunch of times, right? You want to go get the best free agent out there or possibly trade, if it's still before the trade deadline. So bringing in a guy like that, Clowney, to me, would make all the sense in the world. It would give us more depth. Give Max Crosby maybe a little bit of a break where he can only play, 95% of the snaps instead of 99. I think every little bit helps to keep his longevity for as long as possible and to keep that man healthy. Uh but yeah, let me know what you think about Clowney while I get into the chat. Read this shit real quick, and I'll read from the top down this time. I'm just saying. Uh Yo, what it do, bro? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Never hit me back. I did hit you back. I hit you back about 30 minutes ago. I'm good for Tuesday. Yeah. Just let me know a time if you're talking to me. I don't know if you are talking to me, but we'll get to that Ramsey in a minute. We talked about it a little bit last night. I'd grab Clowney. I mean, it makes all the sense, but again, the price, the contract, that is big. But no tax in Vegas. Maybe he's a guy that says, damn, Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, Patrick Graham, Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, Geno Smith. They just got Ashton Genty. Maybe this team could be special if they add me. And maybe he doesn't want to be selfish. Maybe he's like, okay, I'll take the vet minimum or, you know, a little over vet minimum on a prove it deal or whatever, kind of like a Malcolm Kuntz deal somewhere in there. Like, I don't know what the vet minimum is. That would probably be a little wild for a guy like that. Again, we'll have to go over his contract. But yeah, I think it makes all the sense in the world. Then, next up on the list, I talked about it about a month ago. I said there is a very big possibility they're probably not going to trade him because of the cap hit they take. Jair Alexander, Green Bay corner. To me, it's a no brainer. Now, I've heard stuff about locker room stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's the internet. I don't know what's true. But as a player on the field, that dude's a flipping dog. I don't care which way you look at it, how you want to slice it. Jair Alexander is a beast. Yes, the price is very, very, very pricey. But again, if you can convince a guy to come in on a cheaper deal for 1 year, a 1 year prove it deal. Yes, he's injury prone. I know that, but so is Eric Stokes that we've brought in. So is Ja'Cory and Bennett Ben. So is Lonnie Johnson. So I mean, we've brought in these guys that are injury prone. Why not take a chance on a guy when healthy is one of the top guys in the NFL, if not the, you know, to me, it's a no brainer. Now, the price, like I said, is absolutely wild. So, Pete Carroll and Spytek have got Devon White to come in on a cheap deal. They got a Landon Roberts to come in on a pretty cheap deal. They've got Alex Kappa to come in on a pretty cheap deal. They've brought in Jeremy Chin on a pretty decent deal, in my opinion, a damn good deal. So what so these guys in the front office, the upper brass, and the new Braiders have done a damn good job of bringing in quality guys that maybe missed a step for a year or maybe was on the wrong team in the wrong organization with the wrong coaches or they just weren't happy where they were and they needed a new place, a new coaching staff, new players around them, right? Sometimes people just need to get away. So, this ain't a Snickers commercial. Um, but the injuries and the price for Jair Alexander is a big, big question mark. I mean, the money is insane. Why they're trying to get rid of him? Obviously, because of the injuries, right? Because I believe he just signed a big ass deal not too long ago. So for him to be talked about, and again, it's just speculation. He might not, they might just say, all right, let's just keep the guy. He's healthy in camp. He looks good. And if he's healthy, then he's worth the money, right? Are they willing to pay him that money? So, and then next up, let me know how y'all feel about Jair. If anybody wants to chime in, if not, it's cool. Make sure you hit them likes, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Um, Next up, one of Max Crosby's favorite players of all time, right? A guy that he talks about a lot, a guy that's taught him a lot, a guy that he helps with his defensive line camp in Von Miller. Now, I know some people are going to be like, Von Miller. But yes, Von Miller, a veteran in the locker room that knows how to win, that knows how to get guys to play for him, to play together, whether he's on the field a lot, a little bit, just in rundowns, as that outside linebacker. Yes, he's a little old up there in age, but he's still Von Miller, right? Just his presence alone in the locker room, I think would help bring a lot of these young guys along. And again, crazy ass price tag. But could you imagine Max Crosby and Von Miller on the same team? I mean, just when they're out there, that's a nightmare for offensive line. That's a nightmare for tackles. That's a nightmare for opposing offensive coordinators. So, just another thought. Another thought. Again, he's already talked about, he doesn't want to go, um, that he might not play another year. So, something to think about. Clowney is a guy that may help us. I believe so. I believe so. Hey Rebel, I can't get a notification that you were live. Um, Damn it. Yes, no noti for you either. Jeez, are you tickling the notification button? Jeez. No way in hell. Hill is coming to our team. Did I miss something? Who the hell is Hill? Raiders. I had to say that a little quiet. Furpo was good, my guy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you popping in as always. Alex, if I didn't get to you. Unleashed Raider, what's good? What's good? All right, what else we got? What was funny? Trying to catch up, stay caught up. I don't want to do this shit on that. Injury prone. Okay. I see mad. What are you talking about, Unleashed Raider? Yeah, I only get mad when the Wi-Fi trips out. Yeah, Chin's deal was an absolute steal. I believe that dude is gonna could very, very well possibly, if he could get, you know, not smoked in coverage, because his coverage grade wasn't great. I mean, it was in the 60s, right? 69, I do believe. His QBR against, could definitely be better. But in the right situation, in a Pete Carroll system, the way Patrick Graham uses his safeties, he has a chance to be an all pro, Pro Bowl type player. I do believe in this system. And I'm hoping for it, right? I'm hoping Chin steps up. All right, let's just put these up. Looks like Raiders might have to compete with Rams for Ramsey services. See, if there's a competition, Von Miller price and domestic abuse pass probably not happening though. I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that. The pass for Von Miller and this organization, this franchise. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Fuck you. Oh shit. Raiders. All right. Grab Clowney and Ramsey. Are you gonna show this damn thing or not? All right, there we go. Grab Clowney and Ramsey. Hey, wait, I forgot to put my ticker thingy up. Damn it, which one is it? Shit. But yeah, as far as the Ramsey thing goes, like my man said, there might be a competition for the Rams. However, they did let him go, and their backfield could very well use him. I mean, anybody's backfield could use him, but he wasn't the greatest last year, right? He's getting up there in age too. And for me, I believe, like I said last night and the night before, I feel like he's a guy that, you could put in that free safety spot. He's not covering guys, at the line. He's not bumping and run. He's not having to play 10 yards off because these guys, are running 4.3s or 4.2 speed with some of the teams we play. So that's a possibility too. But again, at $20 million a year, we all know that's going to have to be restructured. Do the Raiders just say, shit, we'll give you $20 million guaranteed for 1 year? I mean, there's a possibility they do that also. They have the money. We have investors now. There's money in the building. It doesn't go against the books, right? So there's a very huge possibility that they could just be like, all right, let's just go balls out, balls to the wall. And I've talked about it before the offseason when these guys were hired, when they went and got Tom Brady, when they started bringing other guys in the building. This team could very well, surprise some people and at the last minute go sign a bunch of guys that could put us, in contention to battle for the fucking AFC West title, that could, battle us for the playoffs or even further in the playoffs. There are a couple spots that we need, right? A dominant linebacker. I was very, very upset that we didn't go get a linebacker in the second, third round. There was guys out there, Demetrius Knight, you know, um, who I wanted, Jalen Campbell, um, Jalen Walker, either one of those guys. There was linebackers out there. There was guys that you could have got, first, second round. Um, but we didn't go that route. So I believe Pete Carroll believes very, very highly in a Landon Roberts, and it showed by the draft. They waited till the seventh round. Or did they just feel like they did with Tommy Malott, that they seen something special in one of these guys like Cody Lindenberg that not a lot of teams seen? And I could very well see that too. This team and Spytek drafts very well. That's what he's done his whole entire career. That's what he's, pride his career on. That's how he got to where he was from his drafting. So that could be it too. But again, linebacker still scares a lot of people. So if we can go out, or like I said, in the preseason or the next couple of weeks, these guys step up and really show that, hey, we could cover, we could stop the run. When the pads come on, then we're fine, right? But I still feel like linebackers should have been addressed early. I think quarterback, yeah, yeah, yeah. Running back, corner, and linebacker were our biggest needs, plus the offensive line. But offensive line is always a need unless you have a top 10 offensive line. But you still always need depth. The trenches you got to have. So that's, needless to say, right? The offensive line. But our weakest spots were running back, corner, and linebacker. We lost a lot of guys in low spots. I think the guy we lost at safety, or both the safeties we lost, I think can be replaced with the guys we have. The linebacker is still, a question. Yes, Spillane didn't cover very good. He was decent in coverage. Like I said, from the line of scrimmage, 10 yards deep, he was decent. After that, it was a crapshoot. Sideline to sideline with running backs, it was a crapshoot. Divine Diablo had his moments. So I think if Amari Gainer could step up, we're better at the linebacker position. I think Landon Roberts is just as good as Robert Spillane at stopping the run, if not better. Really, if you look at his numbers against the run, like stopping the run, Landon Roberts was rated top 5 in the NFL in run defense as a linebacker. So, with that being said, maybe we got a little bit stronger at linebacker. Now we do have questions, but Tommy Eichenberg is out there looking like a dog. Yes, there's no pads on. Yes, you're just running around, in shorts and in a helmet. Still, when you're reading the quarterback, when you have eyes on the quarterback, when you're cutting Brock Bowers to pick off Geno Smith, I don't care what you're wearing, bro. That's improvement, right? That shows improvement. That shows a guy that can make those plays, a guy that can cover a linebacker, a tight end on the outside, like Brock Bowers. Because if y'all don't know the play, it was an out route to Brock Bowers on the outside, and Tommy Eichenberg read that shit like a book from Geno Smith. And I talked about it, from what I heard, could have took it to the house if it was, a real game. It probably would have been a pick six. So with him coming on like that, showing that he has the ability to make plays like that, don't sleep on this linebacker room. However, if we have an opportunity to go get a big time linebacker, which I don't see any of them getting cut, because right now I think that's one of the starting to be a premier position in the NFL is a guy that can play linebacker, that can stop the run, that can cover, that can get to the quarterback. If you have guys like that, your team is usually pretty damn good on defense, right? If you stop the middle of the field and you have corners that can cover the outside, shit, what's left? Over the top? We got safeties. So, you know, that's how I feel. Let me get into this damn chat. I'm still reading y'all shit at the same time. How much did I miss? Shark bait. Who's shark bait? Piano man, what's good? Appreciate you pulling in. Trixie Blue, what's good? AOC Pete. Roo roo roo. Is that RRU Raiders Rebel Unleashed? I like it. I like it. What are we just typing things for? The Condor and Kuntz will be tearing up the league again. Raider Nation for flipping life. Raiders. Yo, I got some exciting ass news to tell y'all. Actually, I don't know if y'all care, but I'm gonna be a grandpa again. What? Yes. Just saying. So I found out today. Baby girl called me. Well, actually, I found out from my grandson, who's 2 years old. Called as soon as I answered the phone. He said, "Mommy got a baby in her tummy," and I was like, "What? What?" So yeah, shout out to me. What? Second one at 50. I feel old, bro. I feel old. I'm just saying. Anyway, the Condor and Kuntz, Mr. Malcolm, will tear up the league again. I feel they should have done it last year, and I feel they will do it this year if they're both healthy, man. If they are both healthy, that's it's scary for the NFL. It's a problem for opposing tackles. It's a positive problem for offensive line, offensive coordinators. Rosetown was good. Appreciate you popping in. It's a huge problem. You can't, unless you run 12 personnel or a jumbo package the whole entire game, you can't double team Malcolm Kuntz and Max Crosby. That takes four guys. That takes four guys. If you blitz a linebacker, that leaves one on one with your guards and your center. That's just not going to work. That's not going to work. So they bring and pose a huge, huge problem for opposing teams. And I said it last year. If Kuntz would have been healthy, this team would have been way different. Our record would have been way different. Max Crosby had his best year ever as a Raider with Malcolm Kuntz on the other side. Max Crosby calls Malcolm Kuntz the best running mate he's ever had. He played with guys with like Yannick Ngakoue, Chandler Jones. I mean, and he calls Malcolm Kuntz his best running mate ever. Malcolm Kuntz, 8 sacks in 9 games. That's more than Tyree Wilson had. Okay, that's one less than Tyree Wilson has in 2 years. So there's that. I believe they're going to wreak havoc. Malcolm Kuntz makes makes Max Crosby 10, 20, 30 times better, and Crosby does the same for Malcolm Kuntz. It's hard for these guys. I mean, if you're moving Max Crosby around and you're, running stunts with this guy, having him attack your guards and center, come on, man. The rest of these guys are going to eat. They're going to eat. You have guys like Jonah Lalu out there. You have guys like Adam Butler out there. You have up and coming guys like JJ Pagis if they make the team. That's a lot of big ass beef, pause if necessary, trying to eat all day long. So it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a huge problem. And adding Clooney would be just a way, way bigger problem. We signed Ramsey. He's the best corner in the room. I'm not gonna debate that. I'm not gonna debate that. But jaws up this bitch, please. What? What the fuck you talking about? um all right. So yeah, I mean if we get Ramsey, he's the best corner in the room. I'm not gonna debate that. But what I am gonna debate, my guy, is what if he's not? What if he's not? What if we bring him in and guys like Eric Stokes or guys like Darian Porter with that 4.3 speed, 6'5", are better right off the rip? If he's the second best, I'm still good with that. But if we're paying him 20 million, if we can't get him for less than that, or say we're paying him 15 guaranteed, or 12 guaranteed, 14 guaranteed, and he comes in and he's not the best guy out there, then I'm gonna be mad. Then I'm gonna be mad. There's a reason Miami is willing, and it's not just the price to let him go. Yes, they have, salary cap issues. They probably brought in guys they want to sign, and keep guys, or they have guys, UDFA guys they want to bring in. However, he's wanted out. I don't know why he signed that big ass contract, and he wants to be a Raider. So the 20 million though, it's got to be less than that. It's got to be, even if he is the best in the room, it's still got to be less than that. And with Spytek, the way he's been negotiating contracts, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Robert Pena was good. Appreciate you. I don't know why I went that way. That's what I'm saying. Our secondary needs help. I'm still not sold on our quarterback room at the moment. I'm not sold on them at the moment either. I think we have some work to do. I talked about it not last night, but the night before, Friday night. If y'all missed it, go back and watch the live. Um, I think it was one of the shorter ones, which is shit rare for me because usually it's 3 hours or more. But go back and check it out. I talked about it. If Jacorian Bennett, which from what I hear is, you know, not getting first number one snaps, it's Darian Porter right now. And then another guy stepping up is Eric Stokes. So where does that leave Jacorian? Is Jacorian going to be playing the slot? They've been trying other guys there. They've been trying everybody at the slot. There's a couple guys that might be released. We'll go over that here in a bit. That could come in and play the slot. So do we bring those guys in? That's questionable also. But I believe the talent is there. I believe the upside is there. I believe with our cornerback coach and Marcus Robinson, with Pete Carroll in the building, showing these guys how to backpedal and shit. Like, so I think it's gonna go a long way. You know, that's what he does. He's a DB coach. That's Pete Carroll's, MO. That's his passion. Well, along with everything else. So I'm not as worried. I feel last year I was a little bit more, actually a lot more concerned about the corner room. I wasn't sure Jack Jones was gonna be that guy again. I was correct. You know, I wasn't sure if Corey and Bennett was going to be healthy or who was going to take their place, right? Uh, so I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with the cornerback room, and it's going to take some time. However, we have guys in the building that are, if they are healthy, like Eric Stokes, like Lonnie Johnson, you know, can can be that guy right away and can take that leap right away and be locked down guys. You know, Eric Stokes has all that ability. He just got to stay healthy. He has the speed, he has the hip movement, you know, he has the quarterback awareness. I think he could be fine. If not, and if he are, if not, we can put Darian Porter on the other side. Or Jacorian Bennett. We still don't know what we have in DCAM. That's another question. Lonnie Johnson has been making plays out there. So as long as these guys continue to make plays in camp in the preseason, my confidence is going to go up like it did last year, right? We had Jacorian Bennett, Jack Jones constantly saying, "Oh, he is him." Jacorian Bennett's that guy. He was making plays in camp. But then when we came to find out when the season started that our defense wasn't as good as we thought, our quarterback was absolutely ass wipes in Gardner Minshew. So it wasn't the defense that was as good as we thought it was going to be. It was the offense was just horrendous, bro. It was horrible. This year, we supposedly have a more accurate quarterback, a guy that drops dimes, right? 73 percent completion ratio. It's supposed to be on target Geno. So if we got that in the building, we have a better offense. I think it's going to change some things, right? If our guys are still out there making plays, then maybe this time it's because we actually have guys that are decent and not just a quarterback that's out there making them look good, which we seen a lot of last year. Swim or drown industry. No CPR for the week. Who needs CPR? Especially this game out with the whole pride is sicking. Who the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Effing so pissed that the effing fruity chargers put a put the rainbow on our boat logo. Stop fucking playing. Oh god, please tell me they did not. Please tell me you're lying, dude. And I told you don't make me laugh till my eyes water in these motherfucking glasses, bro. Are you for real? Stop playing piano, man. Come on, dude. Stop that shit. Oh, somebody look that up. Can somebody dark? What's good? Can somebody post that in the chat? Is that for real? I told you, man. You should be a Raiders fan, bro. You always in the chat. You might as well just join the dark side. Then you don't have to come in here and talk shit to all our peeps. Yo, chat. You should dish this Raider Class 101. Should watch Wi Fi Willie. You should go watch your mom, bro. Fuck out of here. It's your gay ass fucking rainbow boat clown. The dumbass clown show that's almost worked. I'm watching on TEL. I had to stop 16 minutes and 15 minutes. By the way, looks interesting. Well, shout out to you and your boy Wi Fi Willie. I hope y'all grow a little connection over there. Yeah. Ditching the class. What is this? Raiders 101 now? I got to change the name. Put in. Okay. Uh, back to the troll shit. We all know. Oh, fuck. Okay, 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 okay. Right the fuck. Troll City, USA. The Rainbow Bolts. LO, yeah, we don't want that. Bro, if that's true, I cannot wait. It's a long time coming, bro. They should have put that shit in there a long time ago. That is perfect. I mean, I would have thought it'd been like the 49ers first. Bro, that's your peeps. What are you talking about, Piano Man? Stop. That's your peeps in the building. You know that's your peeps. All right, man. So, what the hell's what I'm looking at? So let me know, man. Let me know in the chats. Who do you think the Raiders could swoop up if they get cut, and who do you think gets, you know, has to walk that plank? To me, um, hold on. I was trying to pull up this over the cap possible cut candidates. What? Gardner Minshew's not even on the Raiders. Is this last year? Hold up. It's over the cap. 2025 cut candidates. Okay, this has not been updated. My bad, my bad. Give me a minute. All right, that's better. So, I wanted to bring up Tyree Wilson. His cap number is $6,629,000. that right? Damn. Do we just move on from him now? do we just do we just cut ties with this man now and just be like, fuck it? I mean, damn. Who else I wanted to look at? Dylan Parham, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's a damn good backup piece. Um, Now, a name that I've heard talked about and surprise candidate that I was looking at before I started the live is Raheem Mostert. And I was surprised because I believe the Raiders signed him for nothing, right? Let's see, what 1.25 mil? So 1.25 mil, his cap hit would be 1.5, which if guys like Zamir White, guys that stepped up last year that a lot of people keep saying is going to make this team, Insincere McCormick, guys like Dylan Labe, if these guys are stepping up, if they're doing their job, or, even guys behind them, UDFAs that we brought in, or, you know, Collier, like, if these guys are stepping up and they're making less money, do they keep a veteran in their room? Do they keep Raheem Mostert? Now, I don't know why he'd be talked about as a release candidate for the Raiders. Like they said if Zamir White, takes that next step, takes that jump to being the number two back, then they could possibly be like, why keep him, right? If he's not gonna a guy that's gonna play special teams, that's for sure. At his age, so if you can't use him on special teams, do you just keep him for a third down back? If one of these guys step up and take that number two spot, which is a very, very big possibility, one of these guys, in a Chip Kelly system, can step up and take that spot. Raheem Mostert had his best year with 21 touchdowns 2 years ago. Last year, it wasn't even 400 yards. So, do we have a back that can step up? Thank you. Do we have a back that can step up, and perform better than him? I don't know if it's Zamir White, but I believe Sincere McCormick, if he can stay healthy, and I believe in Dylan Labe. Dylan Labe is a guy that could be that third down back if it's not pass protection, right? But even in pass protection, he's getting better from what I've seen out there. He don't look too bad. So Rick Rock, was good, was good. I'm not bueno. Appreciate you coming in, cleaning house. Uh so yeah, another huge question is, does a guy like Raheem Mostert not make this team, or get cut early because other guys are outperforming them early in camp? Now again, running back position, defensive line position, pretty much any position not named running back or not named quarterback or receiver, you're not going to see much from in camp, right? There's no there's no pads on, there's no contact. Unless you're Max Crosby, you might still be hitting a couple guys out there, but that's just how he does. So until the pads come on, you really don't know what Raheem Mostert has or what Zamir White has until we see how they can run behind the offensive line. Is their vision better in a different scheme, right? Is Zamir White better in more of a power scheme? Are we going to run more of a power scheme? Is it going to be more of a wide zone? Is it going to be, a lot more guards pulling? I don't know. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Like Chip Kelly said, his offense is pretty much the same, but it's going to be suited around his players and what he has on the field. And if you don't have a guy that, is that third down back, does a guy like Ashton Genty get more carries than presumed? That's a question we got to answer also. A guy like Trey Tucker, I don't know how he's doing in camp. I don't know how he's going to do when the pads come on. But I do know the guys behind Trey Tucker, Jack Beck, Dante Thornton, even guys like Cedric Jackson and the other Jackson. I can't remember his name. My K's I don't know. Something Jackson. But Zaire, what's good? What's good? What's the chances of these guys stepping up and making the squad? We're keeping probably 6 receivers, not more than that. Now, last year, we kept 2 quarterbacks. We kept 3 running backs, 4 running backs. I believe it was 3. We kept 3 running backs. We kept 9 offensive linemen. We kept 9 defensive linemen. We kept 7 linebackers. We kept 6 wide receivers. And we kept 6 corners and 4 safeties. I believe it's going to be somewhere close to that. Walt, general manager, what's good? Appreciate you popping in, gracing us with your presence. So I believe it's going to be somewhere close to that. I don't think they're going to have more than 9 offensive linemen. They could possibly have 10, depending on who shows out, how much they trust their depth. But if the offensive linemen are doing their job in camp, there's no reason to have 10. If you have a swing guy that can play left, that can play right guard and left guard, if you have a guy that can play left and right tackle, like we do in Munford, if he makes this squad, that's another huge question. But I don't see a guy like that being let go either. There's a lot of talk about Munford being traded or, let go. But a guy that's flexible like that can come in, that can play both sides. We also have Charles Grant that we drafted. I'm not sure if he could play both sides. I know he can play right side, which is fine to me. So another huge question. But when it comes to the receiving core, if we're only keeping 6 guys, there's a big possibility that Trey Tucker could be one of those, trade or cut candidates if he doesn't step up and step up big time. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Zamir White, again, 1.82 cap hit if they release him. No big deal. With Porter, with Darian Porter in the mix, if a guy like Lonnie Johnson, if a guy like Eric Stokes, if a guy like Decamarion Richardson, if these guys step up and push Jacorian Bennett back, could the Raiders move on from Jacorian Bennett? Now, I know Patrick Graham has high praise on Jacorian Bennett. He has a lot to say. Jacorian Bennett played his ass off last year. Sniped. He was damn good in coverage. He wasn't very good at stopping the run. He wasn't very good at tackling. But if he gets beat out by a Darian Porter and an Eric Stokes on the outside, or a Lonnie Johnson, or Decamarion Richardson for that matter, if one of these guys beat out, Jacorian Bennett, and he can't play the slot position, do they move on from him? They weren't drafted by this regime. He's a fast corner, but at 6 foot, he really doesn't fit the Pete Carroll, MO. But he is a guy that I believe is intelligent and fast enough to play the slot. The hips, I think, have to, maybe use a little bit of work. And how can he adapt to that? If we have guys that are already better at playing the slot, like a Trey Taylor, like a Isaiah Palmau, like a Lonnie Johnson, if these guys, Decamarion Richardson, if they adapt better to playing the slot, and like I said, Jacorian gets beat out, do you try to use him as trade bait? Maybe try to use him as trade bait for, I guess they probably won't be trading for a guy like Jalen Ramsey, but with that price range. But there's another question, Jacorian Bennett. Some of these guys could be pushed out. Could be pushed out. We're getting closer and closer to that, August deadline where we have to get down to a 53-man roster. These guys are getting less and less time to come out there and perform to show that they deserve, a spot on this roster or at least a practice squad to eventually make a spot on this roster. Um, you're in the Raider chat. We talk Raider ball. You might seek a discharger room with the rainbow flag, the discharger rainbow flag. I gotta get a picture of that, and actually, I'll just make one anyway. Uh Darnay Holmes. Is Darnay Holmes a guy that might have a problem making this roster? I believe he played pretty decent last year. You know, I saw lots of improvement. I saw lots of upside. Um, Bennett played very well. He got hurt. I agree, Walt, but that's 2 years in a row he's been hurt. He missed half the season last year. He missed more than half the season this year. If his body can't take playing in the NFL, you know, why pay a guy who what this is going into a second, third, this is a third year. Going into your third year, man. If something happens, he gets hurt again, then that I mean, big possibility. 2 years in a row injured. Now I know, like I said, he was playing what he was damn good in coverage, not good at stopping the run. Darnay Holmes still on this roster. I don't think it's for very long, really. Um, Receiver also, you have guys like Kyle Phillips. That was a Chip Kelly bring in. A guy that's going to play that slot. A guy be like the, kind of like that Wes Welker type guy. We also have Alec Bachman, who was already on the roster, who obviously the Raiders like and see something in this kid, or they would not you know, keep this kid on the roster. They would have let him go. So obviously they like this kid. He helped us out in different positions. They put him on the outside. They put him at the slot. They put him in kickoff and punt return. So Alec Bachman, did a lot for us last year. Obviously, they really like this kid. And if he makes the roster, Jacorian Bennett makes the roster, Jack Beck makes the roster, Dante Thornton makes the roster. There's a lot of questions between a whole bunch of guys. Damn, we got nobody that's all right. Well, should have looked at this a little more, but we don't really have anybody that's a major cap hit. I mean, the way our shit is dead money cap savings. Like our roster's pretty, our cap's pretty damn good, bro. Spytek has done a hell of a job. I am very, very, very impressed with this dude so far. Let me know in the chat, 1 through 10. How impressed are you with Spytek and what he's done? 1 for the best, 10 for the worst. But I feel, man, this man has done a damn good job. Holmes' ass cheeks. Don't be surprised if Dylan Labe get. He could very well get cut also. We'll talk about that here too. Dylan Labe, he does have good hands. He is, probably going to have a hard time making it at the running back spot. But again, with Sincere McCormick's health, some of these guys on the roster don't know, I've heard some of these guys in their interviews and they were saying, oh, when I had problems coming into the game and I had to ask Aiden O'Connell what the play was, that's not a damn good sign for some of these running backs. So if you're not smart enough to know the play when you get your opportunity and you're not ready for your opportunity, that's a horrible sign. And there's some of these guys on there that might not be prepared, might not be ready. Dylan Labe is a guy that's going to be ready. They do like him on special teams, so he has that aspect. But there is a very good chance that you know Tommy Malott takes that kickoff and punt return spot. There's a chance they move Trey Tucker to that kickoff return or punt return position if he's not going to be your third receiver, right? If he's going to be your fourth or fourth guy on the depth chart, why not use him? Why not put him at punt return with his speed and his elusiveness? See what he can do back there. So there is that chance. There are guys like I said, Cedric Jackson that could run kickoff returns and punt returns. Are they going to give these guys opportunities? I don't know. So yeah, it's a big uphill battle for Dylan Labe. Again, another guy that wasn't drafted by this regime. How does he fit in with the Chip Kelly system? And if I could ask Chip Kelly one question, that would probably be it for the running back room, right? Where's Dylan Lobby fit in your scheme? What are you gonna do with this kid? But I do know one thing about Chip Kelly is he's gonna use whatever guys he has in different ways than people expect. He's gonna find ways to get these guys open. If Labe is out there, he is a guy that can run those wheel routes, those drag routes, catch the ball in traffic. I don't care if it was New Hampshire or not, but he was the guy in the Senior Bowl that came out there and was shredding people. He was shredding people. That's against the best seniors coming out of college football. There's a reason they drafted this kid, I believe. And we all know he didn't get a chance last year. One chance, one fumble, not enough. He stayed with it. He's not a kid that put his head down. He didn't miss a bunch of time because, that somebody was drafted in front of him, shit like that. He's a tough kid. He's a blue collar type kid, and I believe he's going to do everything he can to make this team. And if he can show this team, that he has value, they're not letting the kid go. They're not going to let him go. Pete Carroll believes in one thing, or he believes in a lot of things, but one thing he believes in a lot that he showed since he's been here with the Raiders is giving guys chances, putting guys in position. Um, Zumbolt says 902, number 8. Damn, y'all ain't got no faith. um, Changes are coming on our running back roster. That's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, we already have Ashton Genty, so that's a huge change, right? You got a guy that can actually run the ball, that can actually be a threat, that can keep guys from stacking the box, that can keep guys from blitzing, three times, two or three times per series, whatever. It's a big, big difference. So appreciate you, Doc. Um, but damn, that's it. One for the best. Y'all got no faith. All right. So, again, Dylan Labe could definitely be one of those guys that's a cap casualty. I mean, not a cap casualty, but a current or past regime casualty. And we see that all the time, right? We see guys coming in and they're like, man, Grim, what's good? Appreciate you. This guy just doesn't fit. Where the fuck did that go? Weird. I had a tab open. It's no open. First postcards. Oh Lord, man, horrible, horrible. All right, here it is. So Raiders add 3.6 million in cap space if they cut Dylan Parham. I understand that, Walt, but right now Dylan Parham is battling for the left guard spot. From what I get, from what been told with Jordan Meredith, so I don't see why you're gonna cut a guy. Joe, what's good? Appreciate you dropping in. I don't see why you'd cut a guy in Dylan Parham. $3.6 million for a guy that can play center and both guards positions is highly, highly valuable in the NFL. The guard position, look at Becton. He's making 20 mil. You have other guards that got signed this year to huge, huge contracts, right? 20 mil, 20 mil plus. These guards are making crazy money these days. And if you got a guy like Dylan Parham on your roster who's packed on a little bit of pounds, who's got a little stronger this year, you don't let that guy go to save $3.6 million, in my opinion. He's too valuable. We had a time last year where every one of our offensive linemen were hurt and we only had 5 guys that we could put out there. We had guys at positions they weren't supposed to be in and wasn't their normal position just because those were the 5 offensive linemen we had to put on the field. Depth is a very, very, very valuable position. And if you're only keeping 9 offensive linemen, wouldn't you want to have a guy like Dylan Parham that if JPJ gets hurt, he can play that position? If Kappa or Caleb Rogers or Jordan Meredith, whoever it is at right guard gets hurt, Parham could play that position. Um, whoever gets hurt on the left side, whether it's, if Parham wins that job, obviously you don't have to worry about it. But if Jordan Meredith wins that job and you have Parham as a backup, or Parham could even maybe win the right side, they might be like, all right, this guy's winning this job completely at the left side. Let's put him at the right side in the rest of the camp and see what he does. Because Dylan Parham and Jordan Meredith both have time at left and right guard, and they both played the position very well. Jordan Meredith played a lot better than Dylan Parham, but their grades were very, very similar. And if Parham is healthy, he's a very, very key piece to this Raiders offensive line, in my opinion. So I would think that would be crazy to let that dude go to cut him. Now to trade him, if you could get something for him, if they don't feel he fits with what the Raiders are doing. Greg Lear, what's good? Appreciate you dropping in. That could be the case too. Maybe he doesn't, feel like it's a fit. Maybe Chip Kelly, maybe Brandon Carroll, maybe they don't feel he fits in their offensive line scheme, which I don't see that. His athleticism, his willingness to get out and pull as a guard, his athleticism to get out and pull, I think is a valuable asset. So I believe Dylan Parham makes this team. If anybody goes, it should be, Alex Kappa, in my opinion. I don't even know, just having a vet in there, but the kids that are behind him are so much more athletic. Um, Yo, Rebel, just jumping in. Appreciate you. My uncle is an Eagles fan, and dude is bragging about the Super Bowl win. I have to remind him nobody cares. Shout out, shout out. Uh, Plus, who won the Super Bowl in 1982 between the Raiders and the Eagles? Shout out, my guys. Shout out. The Eagles still at least Super Bowl wins. Wait, the Eagles still have least Super Bowl wins in their division, right? Talk that shit. Talk that shit. Just because you win a Super Bowl don't mean you get bragging rights. You only get bragging rights for a year because your past can come back to haunt you. Ours has over and over again. But shout out to my guy Greg popping in. I appreciate you. All right, so Kirk Cousins, they say possibility to be cut. If Kirk Cousins get cut, Look for him to go to the Saints. I'm calling it now. There's no reason why the New Orleans Saints should not pick up the phone and try to get Kirk Cousins in the building. Now, Will Levis. How y'all feel about bringing Will Levis in? I'm just playing. Stop. 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 I would. I mean, if it was me, right? Should have been a first round pick. Got picked first overall in the second round. Has never ever had anything around him to even try to grow to be good. Nah, 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 nah. Kappa is 4.5 dead cap hit. Isn't that what the post June 1st thing is for? All the cap hit is cleared for the year. Um, but Will Levis, you know, drafted to a horrible team. Kids never had a shot ever, ever, ever. Yeah, keep sniping. Antonio Gibson, running back from New England. The Patriots just drafted Travion Williams, Travion Henderson. They could save 2.3 million by trading Gibson, after June 1st. Prior. Oh, they could save 1.3 prior to June 1st. I don't know why he's even being talked about, but the biggest name of all, bro, the biggest name of all, Tyreek Hill. As of now, the All-Pro speedster appears to set to return to the Miami Dolphins despite his repeated hints of displeasure following the 2024 campaign. And yet, are we sure the Dolphins wouldn't entertain offers? I guess we're already past this deadline, so I'm not going to read all that. Miami could save close to $15 million by trading Hill after June 1st versus the net loss of 600,000 by the deadline. That would be wild, bro. Absolutely wild if they just moved on from Tyreek Hill. And how would y'all feel with the receiving core we have? Raider Paul was good. Appreciate you dropping in. How would you feel with the receiving core we have if they just decided to release Tyreek Hill to save money on the Dolphins? Would that be something y'all would do? Something y'all would be willing to go after a Tyreek Hill? Do you think he can help the Raiders? I mean, that's a dumbass question, right? Jair Alexander, we talked about that. Jalen Ramsey, we talked about Jalen Ramsey. Oh, I'll take it off the screen in a minute. I gotta get back to there. Hold on. Fuck. Hide message. Sweet. All right, my bad, y'all. All right, back to what I was doing. What else? What else? Damn it, that's the wrong fucking post. Jalen Ramsey, I feel would be the best free agent we could possibly pick up. Like my guy Choose just said, he's probably instantly the best corner, obviously, in the room. He brings competition in the room. He's gonna make guys in the room better, no matter what. Whether he's on the field, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, or 60% of the time, he's gonna help. So to me, that's a guy that you cannot pass up. If they do, it tells me a lot, right? If they let guys like Jalen Ramsey and don't even, pick up the phone or call him, that tells me one of two things. They're not interested, obviously, Are they really have a lot more faith in this cornerback room than obviously the nation and myself? Um, I don't know where the fuck the article went. I thought I bookmarked it. Marshawn Lattimore. This is all last year. All right. I don't know where to flip it went. Why isn't it in my list? This is crazy. Recap. All right, let's try this one. No, I didn't either. Shit. Oh, all right. Here we go. My bad. It took me a minute. I don't know where the hell this article went. But Arizona Cardinals have questioned Justin Jones, defensive tackle. If if Christian Wilkins isn't ready to go, do you bring in a guy like Justin Jones that has experience? Now it's obviously a lot of money. Damn. Um, One of the veterans who could be on his way out because of Nolan. Of course, they drafted Walter Nolan. Nolan's arrival is Justin Jones, the former Los Angeles Charger and Chicago Bear defensive tackle, signed a 3-year, $31.2 million contract with the Cardinals last offseason. As a 1-year free agent centerpiece that year, however, um, after playing every game from 2022 to 2023, Jones missed the final 14 games of 2024 with a torn. I don't know where the hell the article went. Okay. Fuck did you go? Really? Son of a bitch. All right. Was they torn something? Where the hell was I? Missed 14 games with the torn bicep. He failed to record a tackle in the 3 games he did play. So not great. Little bit hurt. Kirk Cousins, we don't need a quarterback. The Ravens edge rusher, double O. Odafe Owa. I don't know how to say his name. I have no idea. The Buffalo Bills edge rusher. AJ, what, Apencia? What is his contract? Piano Man always says he's not trying to be rude, but he makes dumbass comments. And I don't know. I didn't see the comment. We talked about George Clowney, Cole Kmet. I didn't want to bring up, but a guy I do want to bring up: Cincinnati Bengals, Jermaine Pratt. The Cincinnati Bengals didn't have very many draft picks, but they did draft a guy like Demetrius Knight in the 4th round, or in the 2nd round, and Barrett Carter in the 4th round. So after years of Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt in the middle, Knight and Carter might be the next, linebacker pairing coming up. So do they get rid of a guy like Jermaine Pratt? And as the Raiders, or as the Raider fans, would you take a shot at bringing in a guy like Jermaine Pratt? Seen the comment? What are you talking about? Nah, but I trade for Jalen Ramsey, Odell Beckham, Allen Robinson, Aguilar, Allen. Get all 4. You think our receiver room is that weak, Raider Paul, that we need to bring in a washed up guy like Odell Beckham or Allen Robinson? I mean, I know they're vets and they would help, but to me, Jacoby Myers is a vet. Like, he's been in the NFL long enough to be considered a vet. So I don't know if I would bring in any of those guys. Nelson Aguilar, the only time he was good was with Derek Carr, and we don't have Derek Carr. He might be okay, but nah, I'm passing on all those guys. Joey Bosa is already hurt. Bills ain't getting rid of any edges. Hurt for how long though? Hurt for how long? That's the question. And if they did though, you know, it would be a guy we had to go look at. Um, the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Cowgirls. On paper, the Dallas Cowboys should have one of the NFL's best cornerback duos between Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland. Both have first team All Pro selections and highly disruptive ball hawks at different points in their career. However, because of injuries, the two have only played one game together in 2024. Now with Bland in a contract year, it's questionable. It's questionable if we'll see him in a Cowboys uniform for much longer. Dallas took one of the most intriguing swings of any team in day two, drafting East Carolina quarterback Siobhan Revel, which I really like Siobhan Revel, dude. That kid is a dog, bro. Um, although his draft stock sank due to the torn ACL, Revel performed as a first round talent due to his press coverage and ability at ball skills. If Revel is healthy, it could be difficult to keep him on the field. So, Deron Bland, let me know your thoughts. 17 people in the building. Can I get at least 10 of y'all to comment? Deron Bland. If y'all don't know who he is, I'll go to his shit and I'll bring it up. Stats, talk more about him. The dude is an all pro corner when healthy. He's a young all pro corner when healthy. A guy that, like they said, has damn good ball skills. He's a ball hawk. He's very good in coverage. That's a guy that can help, a young guy that could come in and help this corner room, help a lot of these guys in the room. And what? Who said you're trolling? So again, Deron Bland, let me know y'all's comments. Let me know your opinion. Haha Raider, Piano isn't Piano Man, LO1, two different people have seen Piano Man's picture. What? It is what it is. I don't know what that means. Penix is injury prone. He will go down during the season. Okay. Um, I see keep all the draft capital. I think we'll be fine on draft capital. I think we'll be fine. You've seen how we moved down. We got a bunch more picks. We got two more picks. I think we got 3 free picks coming next year, possibly 4 for the guys that we got rid of in free agency if they perform up to their ability. I think we'll be all right on picks, but yeah, stock them up. Get us all we can. I'm taking any of them for over half our receivers. I'm taking Jacoby Myers. I mean, I'll take Odell Beckham, but damn, we've seen in Buffalo what he's done. We've seen what he's done the last 3 years. It hasn't been pretty. It's not worth the money, in my opinion. I'm taking Jacoby Myers over him. I'm taking a cheaper Jack Beck on a rookie deal with his upside over Odell Beckham, over Marcus Robinson. Yes, because those dudes are up there in age and they have, can they stay healthy at their age? That's a big question. The money they want. When we got guys in the building like Dante Thornton at 6'5", 6'6", can run a 4.3 40, and has all the upside in the world. I'm not trying to take away from this guy's production or his development by bringing in a guy that, they're going to put in front of him just because of the money he's being paid. I don't feel like this organization is about that anymore. um, I've known Rebel for 28 years, bro. That's who the fuck I am. Who called Rebel washed up? What? Why are you talking shit to Raider Paul? What'd he do? What happened? Wait, I'm washed up? Shit. That's why she's talking shit to you. Oh, all right. Um, fuck am I washed up? Fuck you, what you mean, bro? What you mean? Uh Mama Bear being protective. One thing I wanted the Raiders to do last draft was to draft a nickelback player in order to replace Nate Hobbs. Yeah, I would have, I would have been ecstatic if they would have moved back up in the first round and got a guy like Jade Barron, who ended up going what 20th or whatever to the Broncos. Way too late. They got a steal right there. And we don't really, that's two of our biggest questions right now. We didn't draft a guy to replace him, and we haven't brought in any guys in free agency to replace Nate Hobbs. That's a big problem. The same with Trayvon Morig, playing that free safety role. That we haven't really got a guy to do that either. We have four safeties. They're all pretty much strong safeties. That's their strong suit, right? They're not the guy that is going to read defenses, has the hip movement to run one way, stop, turn the other way, go the other way. You need guys with fluid hips, with agility, with speed. And we don't really know who's going to step up and be that guy. It could be Isaiah Palamau, but I don't feel like he has, fluid enough hips in coverage to be that guy. So that is a question. That is a question. You're right. And I wish we would have addressed that problem too. So linebacker problem, nickel position, free safety. We have some questions. We have some questions, but I have faith that it'll all come together. I do. Can you remember the last time the Raiders went the whole season without an injury to a quarterback? Hmm, that's a hell of a question. No, not off the top of my head. I cannot. I cannot. Do you have a date for me? Because I really want to know now. Fucking now I really got to know. No, I cannot. But I'm gonna have to look that up right now. Right now. And since my phone, I cannot ask Siri. Fucking mic move. When was the last time the Raiders a QB play all games? The last time the Raiders had a quarterback play all 17 games in 2023, it was Derek Carr. Damn, it was in 2023. I could have swore he missed a game. Oh, I think he left the game. I don't think he missed the game. So it was Derek Carr. Um, he was a starting quarterback for the Raiders and started in all 16 games. The only Raider quarterback to start all 16 games since Rich Gannon in 2022. In 2023, the Las Vegas Raiders had a total of 17 games, and the starting quarterback was Jared Stidham. What the flip? That's not right. Anyways, there's the answer to your question. Derek Carr, which I should have known it was Derek Carr, but I just didn't feel like it was gonna. I just didn't think he was the last one. So, damn good question. I appreciate the question. I'm not bueno. Paul's good people. He ain't a troll. Yeah, he's just fucking around. You can't take Paul seriously. He always playing. Uh, wait, who got deleted now? What the fuck happened? Don't be surprised if the Eagles cut tight end Dallas Gobert to avoid paying him and come calling for Michael Mayer. That's a hot take, Walt. That's a hot take. They could come calling, and if the price is right, the Raiders might play ball. However, I just don't see that happening. I think Michael Mayer. I talked about it last night. If you missed the show, go put it on before you fall asleep. Let it play. Uh, you know, but there is that possibility that if the price is right, they could trade Michael Mayer. They could get some future draft picks, or they could use whatever they get to go get a player that they feel they have a position of need at, whether it be the corner position, the free safety, linebacker, offensive line, whatever it be. This is deleted by Bueno. Um, so yeah, I mean, I could see that, but like I said, I just don't see the Raiders getting rid of a Michael Mayer. He's going to be too valuable. I know he's not going to have 1,000 yards. I know it'd be, you know, I'd be fucking surprised if he has 500 yards. He's not going to be that type of tight end. What he's going to do is he's going to help our run game by blocking. He's going to help our passing game by blocking. He's going to be that guy, that's the security blanket that's always there in short yardage. That if your quarterback does get in trouble, you got that guy that's on the line blocking that could always pop out, right? Catch the ball. Um, so I believe he's going to be a valuable piece. And if you haven't watched the interview with Chip Kelly, go check it out because he talked about Michael Mayer and how valuable he's going to be to this offense. Candy, how can I start an OnlyFans asking for a friend? Stop playing. 2003, that Josh Dick McDaniels uh, sabotage show season. No, Derek Carr got on the bench for the last two games of that year. That's what I thought. So I guess it was Rich Gannon in 2002 then. I just pulled it up and that's what AI said. So I went with the first one and I deleted it. So, but yeah, I was appreciate you pulling that Zier because I was questioning it too. I was like, what? I knew it was Derek Carr, but I didn't think it was 2023. But I guess he did start, 15 games before he was benched and told to sit at home. I can send you a link to sign up and I'll give you advice and coach you. Damn, she coaching? Bueno, he didn't do anything this time. Why did you kick him? Was asking Rebel to come on the show. What? Can you control when he comes on camera? Eagles channel, Michael. What? What'd you say? Piano Man was talking about coming on the show? Man, you gonna come in and call my channel, fucking talk shit on me, talk shit on my channel, and then want to pull up? Yeah, you can pull up. You can pull up. I would be honored, Candy. Piano Man would never tap in the link. Trade Michael Mayer to Philly, the University of Illinois dog safety Sidney Brown. That's tempting, Walt. That's tempting, Walt. We do have four decent safeties, or at least three. I kind of like Harper. Uh, but man, Sidney Brown would be nasty. But I don't know. I don't know. They could use a Michael Mayer. They would be unstoppable with a Michael Mayer. That would make that would make their offense crazy with Saquon. It would give their quarterback so much more room to run around to make plays with his legs. Yeah, please don't give Michael Mayer to the Eagles. We got to play them. That's not good. That's not good. He wants to come on. Well, he can hit me up on my IG. We'll set it up. He can come on. Where do you think the weakest position of the Raiders' offensive line is this year? I mean, we still have questions with JPJ, right? It's in his second year. He played decent, but he got a lot of penalties. He cost us a lot of yards. So I'm hoping him being in the building with Max Crosby every day, nonstop, you know, he gets a little bit stronger. He gets a little bit smarter. They tone it down just a tad bit because we need the aggressiveness and the intensity. But man, you you can't cost us, yardage at the end of plays. So hopefully the center position tightens up because we have a new quarterback, and I hope these guys, the time that they put in together in the offseason, Geno Collins, JPJ to Florida to come work out with them. I hope that really helps. But I believe right now it's the right guard. I mean, the right tackle spot. I think our guards are going to play solid, whether it's Parham, whether it's Meredith, whether it's Caleb Rogers, hopefully whether it's Alex Kappa. I'm just not sold on Alex Kappa. I can't drink that Kool-Aid yet. And I probably never will. I felt the same way about Whitehair last year. And um, what's the other clown we brought in? Sorry, I don't mean to call him a clown. Uh, yeah, so wasn't good, wasn't hyped on either of those guys. I feel the same way about Alex Kappa, but I believe it's the right guard spot. Tackle spot. We have a lot of question at right tackle. The mule DJ Glaze, he played his ass off. He was a rookie, a third round pick, thrown into a fire. Can a full off season, of him getting stronger? Can he tighten up? Because he gave up like 86 pressures, I do believe, last year, if I'm not wrong. That is absolutely freaking insane, bro. That's like 5 a game, 7 a game. I don't know. I can't do the math in my head. Just saying the number made me throw up in my mouth. But given up those that many pressures, he has an excuse. He was a third round pick. He should have not ever had to be out there, but he was the best man for the job. So I'm worried about DJ Glaze. I really, really hope he takes that next step. But if he doesn't, look out for Charles Grant right behind him. I'll say that. What games is everyone going to? I don't know, man. I don't have tickets to any games. I'm still trying to figure out schedule, time, when I can make it, when I can't. Last year when I planned games, shit happened and I couldn't go. There's nothing like having to give up tickets. So, you know, when you have tickets to something and you can't make it, it's a horrible feeling. It's a horrible, horrible feeling. So this year, I'm gonna make sure that I can make it to the games I say I'm going to. And I got a little bit of time, right? I got at least a month or two before I make up my mind. But while I'm still here, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here or when I'm gonna be back. But if I'm still here in Havasu, I definitely want to go to a damn preseason game. But that's 2 months away. I just don't see me. I got to go home before that. Eagles draft safety Andrew Makuba. They may start him over Sidney Brown. I mean, if they do that, then they could possibly just release Sidney Brown or have him on the trade market. Look, I'd take Sidney Brown in a heartbeat. I'm not gonna lie. But then you have a guy like Trey Taylor, who is kind of that same dude. Hits hard, can cover well, could play slot, can play both safety positions, even played a little bit outside if he has to. So, I mean, we still got a lot of guys. That is my only question about bringing in guys post June 1st, right? If some of these guys make the roster, I mean, some of these guys get cut, some of these big names, do we go after them just because of their big names and take away the development process from some of these young guys that I have very, very high hopes in, and I hope most of y'all have high hopes in. I'm hoping one of our rookies take the OG. What? Um, oh, offensive guard over Kappa. Yeah, man, Kappa scares me. Kappa scares me a lot, an awful lot. My father is a season ticket holder with one of his friends. That's sick, man. That's sick. If I didn't live in Arkansas and I was in Vegas still, which I lived most of my life, and then as soon as I move away, the Raiders move to Vegas. So it might not be long, but probably will. Now that baby girl's having another grandbaby, I don't know if I could leave. I don't know if I could leave Arkansas. So being a season ticket holder probably is not going to happen ever in my lifetime. It's always been a dream of mine, something I've, wanted to do my whole life. When I was in Vegas, they were in Oakland. Then they come to Vegas and I'm in damn Arkansas. So story of my life, shit never works out, but man, that's sick as hell. I would love, like I said, love, love, love to be a season ticket holder. Definitely on my bucket list one of these days, one of these years, hopefully. So, oh, you in SoCal, Paul? So he saved me from the Jaguars game. Spytek dropped Kappa and drafted Kappa in Tampa Bay. Kappa. I know that's the connection, and I know that's the only reason he's here, right? If it wasn't for Spytek, Kappa wouldn't be here. Spytek believes in him. He believes he can get the best out of him. He believes this coaching staff can get the best out of him. Spytek's done a damn good job so far, and I can't question anything he's done. So if he believes in Alex Kappa, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna say I believe in him also. That's one thing I just can't buy in. You can't have two horrible seasons like that and then think this guy's gonna play over a guy like Caleb Rogers or Jordan Meredith or even Dylan Parham, who have all played well, So yeah, but then if you sell tickets, you don't know who's buying them. And if it's not a Raiders fan and it's a home game, I'm not trying to sell my tickets to anybody that's not a Raider fan. I try to buy them to keep other teams out of Allegiant Stadium. So, I mean, yeah, I get that. But yeah, Kappa, I'm just not sold on. My ex husband is a season ticket holder to the Raiders and the Knights, and he sells them when he can't go to games. I'm going to the Raiders and Cowboy game. What was that? Thursday night football or Monday night football? Thursday night? That's a Thursday night game, right? That's on my bucket list too, as a primetime game. I think I went to a primetime game when I was a kid, but it wasn't a primetime game. I guess that didn't make sense at all. Yeah, we better win that one. No, we were never married. Um, but yeah, man. Anybody else got any more questions? We coming up on 2 hours. I made it. I made it 7 days. I'm so proud of myself. Pat myself on the back here. Damn it! I don't know where my pen went. I've never done a live without my piece up here. Crazy. Um, he's a boyfriend, not a husband. Ex-boyfriend. See y'all, Joe. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I'll be looking for the next live. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm gonna try to start doing if I can, if I possibly can, a little bit later in the daytime, and then maybe a different thing at night for the night crowd. So for sure, man. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all pull up again, hit them noties, like, subscribe, follow. Thank y'all for rocking with your guy as always. 7 days for what? Oh, I was live every day this week. 7 days. My bad. I probably should have elaborated. But since I've been doing this shit, I've had goals set to go live, and every time I do, for the whole week, 7 days straight, I usually try not to go live on the weekends because I know people have shit to do, and not really a lot of people want to come in and listen to me talk Raiders every single day. But as long as y'all keep coming in 7 days a week, shit, I'm gonna be here 7 days a week. 7 days of band and piano, man. I'm proud of myself too. I'm gonna pat you on the back also. I'm gonna pat you on my back. Fucking piano man, bro. I don't know why you can't get it together, nephew. I'm just kidding. Fucking. Uh, I don't know what's up with this kid, man. I don't know. I don't know. But shout out to you and your 7 day streak. I'm sure it'll keep rolling because tomorrow's another day. It's fucking tomorrow's another day. Um, we can get to know you better. What? You don't need to get to know me. You should come in and just talk to us normally. Nah, I don't. Nobody gives a shit about me or my life. Why the fuck? Shit. I could barely get y'all to listen to me talk about football. Nobody wants to hear. Nah. That's a book for another time, bro. That's. I can't tell most of the stories about my life on YouTube, anyways. They would block my channel and kick me the hell out. Yeah, all those things are frowned upon on YouTube. My past is the past. Those days are behind me, and they should probably not be brought up on YouTube. Uh, I appreciate you having a show tonight. I work night shift, so if I got a show on, I'll listen. Hell yeah, nice. So yeah, I usually not on this late, but lately with the kids out of summer school, you know, the internet kind of gets a little interrupted here and there. So yeah, I'll be coming on a little bit later. But yeah, I appreciate you rocking with me. Whatever rebel we like to get to know the creator. Well, I mean, shit. Anything y'all want to know, just ask anytime. I ain't shy. I'm an open book. If it's something I can't answer on live, I'll DM you. Like I ain't fucked up about it. So, questions you got, hit me up. Also, actually, um, let me know what y'all think about this. It'll be the pinned comment. You don't have to go back and watch the live. You just got to go click on it and comment. But it'll be the pinned comment afterwards. Is fuck the dischargers. That'll be the pinned comment also later. um, but what do y'all think about a mailbag live voice call in mailbag? I'm thinking about setting up a little hotline number so people like Piano Man, I'm not bueno, could come in. Dark, whoever, Chiefs fans, Broncos fans, whoever. But I got a number. Let me know how y'all feel about it. If it's something y'all be, willing to do, come in, leave your thoughts. If I like the call, I'll play it back, like some channels do. I ain't trying to steal their shit, but like I said, just another way to help y'all express yourself, get your shit out there. Again, I don't know what day. So let me know what day's best for my people, man. Because y'all my peep. So I can work around your schedule. What day's the best day? I'm trying to make a day, for members live where y'all can pull up, talk your shit. Um, we'll make it members only. That way it's, people if you're not comfortable being on camera, you can always hide your face or you can be on camera. It is what it is. So let me know if some of y'all be interested in. Again, thinking about doing, some kind of live mailbag where people come in, drop their comments, and we just talk about it one day a week. Again, much love. Appreciate y'all. I gotta find my shit, get back to the damn thing so I can end the stream. But yeah, Raiders. Everybody's sleeping, so I gotta be quiet. Peace. Much love, y'all. See you tomorrow.